Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi everyone. Here I'm trying to be very simplified and I want everyone to get benefited from this video. Sometimes in class we don't have time to say everything, and sometimes, of course, you don't pay attention. This is the beginning of Act Two, as we see in the production of the play. Of course, they are on the stage. Viewers are down there, or the audience. Yeah. Anyway, this is John Proctor, and this is Elizabeth Proctor. Of course, in Act Two, what we have is the problem became worse. What problem? The problem that began in Act 1 when Abigail and the girls were dancing at the woods and Paris caught them, and Betty, to avoid the confrontation, decided to pretend that she is unconscious. She stopped talking and so on. And the doctor said nothing is wrong with her. Start investigating about witchcraft. And of course, at that time, there was fear of witchcraft. That was time of ignorance and time of the church controlling everything. So they started investigating about witchcraft, and at the end of Act 1, Chuchuba and Abigail, Betty, and other girls started defending themselves by accusing others. Okay? So, in order to get away from the punishment, they confessed they had a deal with the devil, and in order that to show their repentance، يعلنوا توبتهم بقى وكده وندمهم وانهم بقوا good Christians again، هيعملوا ايه؟ they accuse others. Like a criminal when he accuses others and make a deal with the police. Okay, so it was like that way they tried to escape. So in Act 2, it started with, as you see, with John returns from planting fields. Elizabeth is serving food for him. There was discussion about Mary Warren in Asylum. Mary Warren is their servant. Of course, in the past, Abigail was their servant. And when Elizabeth suspected there was a relation between Abigail and her husband, she dismissed her. And we learned that John Proctor decided to be good man and he stopped that relation. But Abigail still thinks about him, and she cannot accept no from him. So anyway, the Mary Warren is the new servant. She went to asylum to be a witness in the court. And here there's a problem here. Of course, there's growing concerns about witch trials. في محاكمات للسحرة والساحرات. But suddenly, out of a sudden, those who were accused in the beginning became like prominent figures. بقى دلوقتي هم اللي بيوجهوا الاتهامات. Now they are the ones who accuse. Now they have importance. هتلاقي ماري دلوقتي she refuses to obey Proctor. Don't hit me, don't order me. خلاص I am an official now. تمام. And she insisted on going to the court. He tried to stop her, prevent her. He said, no, you cannot prevent me. حتى هتلاقي بيقول لها go to sleep. قالت له no, you cannot tell me to sleep. خلاص قال لها طيب خلاص خليك sit up. No, I will go to sleep. شوف التفاهة بقى. So in the beginning they mentioned like 14 people in jail. لما ماري هتيجي هتقوله لا ده بقى 34. Okay, so Mary Warren's role, she's an official of the court now. She brings news from Asylum. She made a puppet or doll for Elizabeth. Elizabeth. When she returned, she gave Elizabeth a doll, and she told her that I made it for you while in court. This is very important. Okay, maybe Abigail saw her making the doll and assumed she would give her to Elizabeth. خلي بالكوا بقى because later on Abigail would use this doll to convict تتهم Elizabeth. How? She will put يعني شوف بقى الستات لما if she wants to do something and to get rid of enemies, maybe she can hurt herself. She brought a needle and stabbed her belly, and she suddenly screamed a very loud scream. And of course, Mr. Paris came to rescue her. She said, Elizabeth, spirit. بس بقى how can you deny a spirit's presence or prove it? You cannot either prove it or deny it. She said, Elizabeth's spirit pushed the needle into my belly. طيب. When they come, the police or the one in charge, when he comes to search uh, John Proctor's home, he will find the doll and the needle. Okay, and they consider that as a proof. Okay, so Mary will go on to say reports on Goody Osborne's conviction. And we said Goody, this is like a title for old ladies or for ladies يعني, in that society. And Lady Osborne دي عندها about 60 years. She's a poor woman, homeless, يعني ضايعة خالص. And they found her a good target for the beginning of accusation. Okay, because she will not be able to defend herself. Such a woman, يعني very poor, very helpless. Okay. Now Mary shows growing confidence in her position. Okay. Discussions of Abigail Williams. Uh, what brought Abigail in the conversation between Proctor and his wife is that she reminds him, you said Abigail told you that they are just making fun or they were dancing at the woods and they are making everything up. They are making up all of these accusations. So she urges him to go and expose Abigail's lies. But he was reluctant to get involved. Why? That's a good question. Why? He told her there were no witnesses. She told me in private. Dun dun. In private? Why were you with her alone? Okay, as a wife, بقى, she will start suspecting him again. That happened when they were with Betty and trying to wake her up, if you remember the scene. Anyway, so he thinks that with the growing fear in silent community, they will not believe him. And Abigail now is believed by everyone. So why should they believe him, not her? So there's mounting pressure on the proctors. طبعا proctors معناها اللي هو John Proctor and Elizabeth Proctor. Suddenly هتلاقي Reverend Hale. Reverend طبعا اللي هو priest اللي بيقولوا عليه محترم قال يعني. Reverend Hale's visit. Suddenly he came. طبعا time is not suitable at all يعني nearly evening or night. Questioning the proctor's Christian devotion. Testing their knowledge of commandments. يلا سمعوا commandments. He wants to make sure that they are يعني, faithful people, religious people. John recites 9 commandments forgetting adultery. قاعد يسمع 9 جاء على الأخيرة يعني he forgot. Okay. His wife reminded him. طبعا this is symbolic. نسيت ليه الادultery؟ اصل انت ما التزمتش بالcommandment دي. Okay. So the symbolic importance of the forgotten commandment. احنا قلنا يعني he had an affair in the beginning but he repented يعني and he became a good man. But still يعني the sin is deep in his mind and the regret in his heart and his wife will never forget this. Like initial signs of suspicion towards the proctors. Hale, after all of the investigation and كده برضه he is not convinced that they are good people. مع إن Proctor he will reminded him that he fixed the roof of the church, he fixed the door of the church يعني he is concerned. بس هيقول له why didn't you attend often? Why didn't you baptize your child, your third child? John Proctor will answer that he does not trust Paris to touch his child. طبعا that tells you something about the priests in the church. في a lot of طبعا a lot of scandals exposed recently. طيب religious examination of the household قلنا questions about baptism of children قلنا برضو discussion of church attendance Proctor criticism of Reverend Paris. Why Proctor criticizes Paris? Because Paris insisted that he wanted golden candlestick. اوكي يعني انت هتحط عليها كاندل يعني لازم تبقى golden. خلاص وطبعا golden stick دي هيجيبوها منين؟ They get it from the money people pay for the church. Okay. So Proctor's point of view يعني انا اتعب واطلع عيني وبعدين you take my money and put it a candle for you for your decoration عشان تقف كده يعني he doesn't like the situation. There's growing religious tensions. هيخش بقى ايه Giles Corey and Francis Nurse. Okay. They arrived here. Arrival with devastating news. Each one of them his wife was taken. يعني Giles Corey his wife was taken. Francis Nurse his wife was taken into custody. Their wives accused of witchcraft. Rebecca's nurse the arrest shocks all because she appeared in the beginning in Act 1. She was a very kind woman. Okay, old and kind and religious. And she tried to calm them down and she was very peaceful. Accusing her of being a witch? Hmm, dangerous and strange. So here there is growing scope of accusations. Everyone can be accused. هو ده اللي بنسميه the reign of terror عصر الرعب بقى كده. So no one is secured. Anyone can be accused. Community leaders being targeted. Even Nurse D, Rebecca Nurse can be considered like a community leader. People respect her. So even those were targeted. الكيز دلوقتي in the hands of the children اللي هم Abigail the other girls هم they are in control now. They can send anyone to jail. And from jail they can be hanged even. Okay, that's why and I made the poster of a woman, Abigail, and instead of pointing her finger, the finger turned into pistol. Because with her fingers accusing others, that can lead to the death of others. The arrest. Cheever and Herrick arrive. They are charged and sent by the court to arrest people. Okay, they search. There is a search warrant for Elizabeth. They came to take Elizabeth, and when they asked her about a puppet, like a doll, she said, "I don't have a doll." Then he saw the doll, And she said, "This is for Mary. She has just given it to me." So they took the needle in the puppet as evidence, as I said, connection to Abigail's accusation. So Abigail accuses her. Okay, of course, Mary knows why. She wants to get rid of Elizabeth. We said that from the beginning. So they found evidence against Elizabeth. They considered that to be evidence. Abigail's claim of being stabbed, as I told you, Abigail claimed she was stabbed by the spirit of Elizabeth. How come she's alive and her spirit goes around like that? Hmm. The puppet as proof of witchcraft. John's desperate defense of Elizabeth. Think about it like a husband sees his wife getting arrested in front of his eyes. This is very, very tough, very cruel. Of course, he has to defend her, but at the end, he cannot overcome the police. We can consider them to be the police at that time. Uh, Mary Warren's involvement revealed. Um, John Proctor tried to ask Mary Warren to go with him to the court to tell them the truth, but she said, "No, I don't want to go anymore. It became creepy, and I'm afraid." So he tried with John Proctor. There is like fierce protection of Elizabeth, confrontation with officials, threatening violence against the court. But of course, he cannot do anything. So there was like emotional breakdown. He promised he promised his wife to fight for her freedom. She gave him like instructions as a mother to take care of the children and don't tell them where she is and so on. You can imagine the situation. Uh, so this goes on. We have themes here: justice versus injustice, truth versus lies, marriage and loyalty, power and corruption. Now, corruption, why? Because some people, not only the girls, some people try to accuse others too. Why? And for example, one wanted a piece of land from Proctor. So he will be very happy if Proctor is arrested and jailed. He will take over his land. That is Putnam. Uh, Mrs. Putnam took revenge from the birthmaid. Okay. She accused her of killing the children, and of course, she didn't know kill them. But anyway, so anyone has like revenge, okay, against someone else. You either take revenge or take benefit, okay, and sometimes take revenge for very silly things. Someone bought a pig from a woman, and the pig died after that. So they accused her of being a witch, and she killed the pig. This is not acceptable. So we have religious authority versus personal integrity. Now, the guys in the church uh, should not use logic in this, but they don't. They don't use logic. It's easier for them to convict people. Say, yeah, he is a witch or she is a witch, and put them in jail or hang them. This is the easy thing they do. Okay, you have to notice, of course, that studying reading books is different from literature. In literature, you need to know the background, you need to know literary devices, you need to be deeper. Okay, so Miller is the writer, the playwright. He used some historical events. Okay, so now Salem village was real, and witch hunt was real. But also it was parallel to something called McCarthy era. I sent you a video on Claser about this. In America, there was a communist party, حزب الشيوعي, and of course they did not accept it, so they stopped it, and it was like a crime to belong to this party, and someone called McCarthy started accusing others of being secret members of that party. So if you think about it, it is very similar to what happened in Salem. So anyone can be accused, oh, you are a secret agent of the communism. Okay? Anyone can be accused of that. And if someone is accused of that, of course, he might lose his job, might go to jail. So I advise you to go to this documentary and watch it. One of the uh, good things about Miller's writing is building dramatic tension. Okay, so just from the beginning of the play, we have tension growing. Okay, starting from worrying about Betty, okay, to trying to get the truth from Abigail and the girls about their dancing, to going to a more dangerous spot of witchcraft, going higher or worse to accusing others, widen the circle of accusation. Okay, so this is called building dramatic tension and character development. Okay, when you saw Abigail maybe for the first time, you did not imagine how evil she can be. Foreshadowing of future events. Okay, foreshadowing, that means I am giving you an event that tells you more about something that will happen in the future. So maybe the first meeting of Abigail with Proctor tells you that she will not accept no from him. She will not accept ending that affair, and she will fight for it. So I hope you got a better idea of Act Two, and inshallah we'll continue studying that.